Hi, I'm Libby, your host, and you're listening to Mountain Gospel Music, where you hear the best of the best in gospel music.
He known the 10 Commandments from the time that he was 5. But in the jungles of Vietnam, there is no wrong or right. He was a decorated hero when he stepped down off the train. But some folks in his hometown made him feel ashamed. Could you walk a mile in that man's shoes when you had no choice? How can you choose? Don't be quick to judge till you've been there too. Stop and think for a while. Could you walk a mile in that man's shoes? There's no one there to hold her hand the night her baby came. Just a couple waiting down the hall would give her child a name. At 17 she learned the meaning of a mother's love. To give a baby life she knew she'd have to give it up. Could you walk a mile in that woman's shoes when you had no choice? How can you choose? Don't be quick to judge till you've been there too. Stop and think for a while. Could you walk a mile in that woman's shoes? They cursed him and they kicked him as they dragged him down the street. They nailed him to a cross, soldiers gambled at his feet. Though his heart was broken from all they put him through, he said, Father, please forgive them, they know not what they do. You walk a mile in that man's shoes when you had no choice. Tell me, how can you choose? Don't be quick to judge till you've been there too. Stop and think for a while. Could you walk a mile in that man's shoes? Stop and think for a while. Could you walk a mile in that man's shoes? Could you walk a mile in that man's shoes? I like that song. And if you stop and think about it, we need to be more aware of what we say. In other words, be slow to speak and not judge people like we do. We need to leave them in God's hands and pray for them. Next song coming up is Help is on the Way. Praise God, He's our help. Every day I couldn't have made it without Him. I am the Mountain Gospel Singers. My name's Libby, and I love you today. May God bless each and every one who hears these songs. last meal almost gone. God sent Elijah to make his word known. Woman, don't you worry, for God sent me today. Before you even ask him, help was on the way. And just hold on a little longer, help is on the way. A brighter day is coming for those who believe and pray. Help won't help tomorrow if you give up today. Just hold on a little longer, help is on the way. Troubles of this life come, burdens get you down. You think no one is listening, you think no one's around. Remember what his word said, trust him and obey. Keep your eyes toward heaven, help is on the way. Just hold on a little longer, help is on the way. A brighter day is coming for those who believe and pray. Help won't help tomorrow if you give up today. Just hold on a little longer, help is on the way. Help won't help tomorrow if you give up today. Just hold on a little longer, help is on the way.
The man I'm talking about was not a Scrooge now. He was a kind, a decent, a mostly good man, generous to his family and upright in his dealings with other men, but he just did not believe in all of that incarnation stuff which the churches proclaim at Christmas time. It just did not make sense, and he was too honest to pretend otherwise. He could not swallow the Jesus story about God coming to earth as a man. He told his wife, "I'm truly sorry to distress you, but I'm just not going with you to church this Christmas Eve." He said he'd feel like a hypocrite, that he'd much rather just stay home, but that he would wait up for them. So he stayed, and they went to the midnight service. Now, shortly after the family drove away in the car, snow began to fall. He went to the window to watch the flurries getting heavier and heavier. Then he went back to his fireside chair, began to read his newspaper. Minutes later, he was startled by a thudding sound, and then another, then yet another. At first he thought somebody must be throwing snowballs against the living room window. But when he went to the front door to investigate, he found a flock of birds huddled out there miserably in the snow. They had been caught in the storm. In a desperate search for shelter, they had tried to fly through his large landscape window. That was what had been making the sound. Well, he couldn't let those poor creatures just lie there and freeze. So he remembered the barn where his children stabled their pony. That would provide a warm shelter. All he would have to do is direct the birds into that shelter. Quickly, he put on a coat and galoshes, and he tramped through the deepening snow to the barn, and he opened the doors wide. And inside the barn he turned on a light so the birds would know the way in. But the birds did not come in. So he figured that food would entice them. He went back into the house and fetched some breadcrumbs and sprinkled those on the snow, making a trail of breadcrumbs to the yellow-lighted, wide-open doorway of the stable. But to his dismay, the birds ignored the breadcrumbs. The birds just continued to flop around helplessly in the snow. He tried catching them. He could not. He tried shooing them into the barn by walking around them waving his arms, but instead they scattered in every direction except into the warm, lighted barn. And that's when he realized that they were afraid of him. They were afraid of him. To him, he reasoned, I'm a strange, terrifying creature. If only I could think of some way to let them know that they can trust me, that I'm not trying to hurt them but to help them. But how? Any move he made tended to frighten them and confuse them. They just would not follow. They would not be led or shooed because they feared him. And he thought to himself, if only I could be a bird now, if I could be a bird and mingle with them and speak their language and tell them not to be afraid, then I could show them the way to the safe, warm barn. But I would have to be one of them, wouldn't I? So they could see and hear and understand. At that moment, the church bells began to ring. The sound reached his ears above the sounds of the wind, and he stood there listening to the bells, listening to the bells pealing the glad tidings of Christmas, and he sank to his knees in the snow. Paul Harvey, I hope for you and those you love, this will be a wonderfully Merry Christmas.
Things that I love, I hold dear to my heart. They're borrowed, they're not mine at all. Jesus, let me use them to brighten my life. So remind me, dear Lord. Roll back the curtain of memory now and then. Show me where you brought me from and where I could have been. Remember, I'm a human and humans forget. So remind me, dear Lord. Nothing good have I done to deserve God's own Son. I'm not worthy of the scars in His hand. Yet He chose the road to Calvary to die in my stead. Why He loved me, I can't understand. Roll back the curtain of memory now and then. Show me where remember I'm a human, and humans forget. So remind me, dear Lord. So remind me, dear Lord.
By life's battles, all my hope was sinking fast. The sinful life that I was living, I knew that I just could not last. Then I went down to the potter's house and placed this vessel into his hands. On his wheel of grace and mercy, he made me over again. Yes, I've been to the potter's house. His hands of mercy molded me. He set me forth when he was finished, so that all the world could see that he can mend a broken vessel. It matters not what shape it's in. Yes, I've been to the potter's house. I've been made over. Your life has no meaning. The storms have taken their toll on you. With your vessel in many pieces, you don't know just what to do. Please come with me to the potter's house and place your vessel into his hands. You'll be amazed at his ability when he molds you again. Yes, I've been to the potter's house. His hands of mercy molded me. He set me forth when he was finished, so that all the world could see that he can mend a broken vessel. It matters not what shape it's in. Yes, I've been to the potter's house. I've been made over again. Yes, I've been to the potter's house. I've been made over again.
Lonely years I have lived in, my life had no meaning till I heard about Calvary. Then I knelt down in prayer. The Lord, He met me there. Now Jesus is living in me. He's on my feet when I'm
walking, in my tongue, when I'm talking, in my eyes, and now I can see. He's in the songs that I'm singing, in my heart, His joy is ringing. Jesus is living in me.
Through the valleys He has brought me, to the top of the mountain, and over life's troubled sea. Now I sing for His glory, songs that tell that old story, 'cause Jesus is living in me. He's in my feet when I'm walking, in my tongue when I'm talking, in my eyes, and now I can see. He's in the songs that I'm singing, in my heart His joy is ringing. Jesus is living in me. He's in my feet when I'm walking, in my tongue when I'm talking, in my eyes, and now I can see. He's in the songs that I'm singing, in my heart His joy is ringing. Jesus is living in me. Yes, my Jesus is living in me.
You just heard a song, Jesus is Living in Me, by the Mountain Gospel Singers. And you know, if you think about it, is He living in you today? Is your life an example, a testimony that someone else can see Jesus in your life? I know I fell short a lot of times. I need to be more humble, less judgmental, and show Jesus and let my light shine for Him. We got more songs coming up for you guys, and before we get to that, I'd like to just kind of give an update on my book. Yes, I'm a widow, and I started writing a book a couple years ago, and it's called Maggie's Fire. And the reason I say Maggie's Fire, because, you know, it's actually a lot of tragedies that she goes through in this book. But all the way through the tragedies, folks, guess what? Jesus is there to protect her. Jesus is there to get her out of what she gets into. And you just got to read the book. It's right now on Amazon. Ebooks, you can download it right now for $3.99. That's cheap. And you can also get the hardback for $19.99. You can order that also from Amazon. So think about it. Maggie's Fire is what you look for when you're searching for it, and I hope you'll read it and leave a review. Let me know what you think. I hope you'll enjoy it. All right, next song coming up, without any further delay, it is Go Rest High on the Mountain. Think about it. One of these days, folks, we're going to be able to rest. No more heartache, backache, or bills. Praise God.
trouble, and only you could know the pain. You weren't afraid to face the devil. You were no stranger to the rain. So go rest high on that mountain, 'cause your work on earth is done. Go to heaven, shouting love for the Father and the Son. Oh, how we cried the day you left us. We gathered round your grave to grieve. Wish I could see the angels' faces when they hear your sweet voice sing. So go rest high on that mountain, 'cause your work on earth is done. Yes, it is. Go to heaven, shouting love for the Father and the Son. You know, one of these days we're all going to have to meet Jesus Christ, and there's only two places you're going. One day we'll be able to rest. No more burdens, heartaches, tears, taxes, or backaches. So are you right today? Do you know where you're going? Praise God. If so, and you're going to heaven, I'll meet you there. We'll be able to rest one day. So go rest high on that mountain, 'cause your work on earth is done. Go to heaven, shouting love for the Father and the Son. Go to heaven, shouting love for the Father and the Son.
Thanks for listening to Mountain Gospel Music. See you next week, same time, same place. Until then, God bless.